Peace, peace, happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now, just bringing the awareness to the aspect of dealing with reflections and realizing, again, like, I'm getting to that place more and more where I'm not, analyzing everything so much. And realizing it's about being in my moment to the fullest. And a part of being in my moment to the fullest is also, removing blockages, the energetic blockages that exist in the subconscious and in the chakras. And just a brief little vibe of speaking on how you'll know what's going on externally you'll know what's going on internally, like if you're not catching the vibe internally, like you're not being able to see. Because a lot of times too, when we have certain inner blockages, our human ego is gonna kind of, throw this tricky game of like not allowing for us to really see it, or to be in denial about us really having that blockage. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have a blockage with abundance, but you might be like, nah, man, even though your life shows otherwise, you may talk as if, oh man, nah, I got this, when you really don't, and you're throwing that illusion over yourself. And just realizing your reflections as far as like, to realize what battles are going on inside you, inside your subconscious. It's like a Christian who just left the church, and they just find out about crystals and stuff like that. And then, because they're early in that stage of leaving Christianity, they may find themselves having conversation with people that's still trying to preach Jesus on them, because that, that aspect is still within their psyche, or they still kind of have some type of belief in it. Or like, also like whatever energies, again, I spoke on this before, but something just, again, feeling the vibe to send out this reminder of like, if you find yourself like, like where you always seem like you're argumentative towards a person talking about a certain subject matter, then that means that, there's a clash in energy inside of you dealing with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might feel like, one part of you feel like, astrology is the end all be all. And then another aspect of you feel like, fuck astrology, I don't want to deal with it that much, you know what I'm saying? And those two energies, clashing inside of you, show up in the aspect of you having a conversation. All right, peace. Yeah, bless. Yeah. Blessings, good to see you. Yeah, I saw you. I was like, oh shit.
For real, I like that route. Keep on, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Stay blessed, bro. Good to see you. All right. That aspect again. Externals talking about astrology, and if like you got like a, again like a split vibe about that inside of you, it shows up externally. And I've seen it happen within my own realm. That's why it's an example I could bring up, where I attract conversations about astrology, and that one person got the vibe strongly of, like the side that I'm not leaning towards the most. So like, if I'm leaning more towards the side of like fuck astrology, then the person who really is about astrology heavy is gonna, appear into my reality, you know what I'm saying? Or if I got the vibe of like, oh shit, astrology is like the end all be all, then that other aspect show itself, like the aspect that's like, fuck it. But again, you will always have awareness of what's going on inside of you, just due to the people, places, and things that you attract to yourself. The conversations that you're constantly having, externally, is the conversations that's going on inside of you, you know what I'm saying? And we looking to balance and harmonize our internal, energies, you know what I'm saying, to integrate them so it ain't no beef. Well, we can understand like, all right, shit, it's cool for me to operate in this little area when it's cool for me to operate here. And then, however, because I don't even want to say that like, oh, it's cool or it's not cool. I ain't trying to, again, because that's the whole aspect. Is like whatever works for you, how it works for you, and when it works for you, quote unquote, But yeah, just having that awareness again of like, and definitely again, because everything is about application. So why am I talking about this? Universal, how in the fuck does this help me on my growth? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, like, it's realizing, like, by, again, the conversations are, like, especially, like, the debate and the argumentative type of vibe. Like, if you ever find yourself going back and forth with somebody about certain subject matter, then realize that you're going back and forth inside yourself about this subject matter, and it's playing out externally for you too, since you wasn't able to, sit there with yourself and work it out. It's coming up as an external conversation, so you could, like, allow for yourself, to open up to that other perspective, or more so to feel a balance of like, all right, it's balance about this situation. A little bit of this aspect, I fucks with. These other aspects of this, it doesn't work best for me, you know what I'm saying? But again, like, I more so get to a place with no judgment, like, it's no judgment towards this other energy or this other situation, and that'll help for you to, realize it again, like, what blockages exist, and you can start working from there, with all the different tools, working with a certain crystal, doing a certain meditation, affirmations as well, It ain't just about affirmations, it ain't just about anything, it's a mixture of all aspects of, doing the work. But definitely, again, like, subconscious programming, like reprogramming your subconscious to not be so judgmental or to be so split towards a certain idea, like, you might feel like, at one point you was like, oh, it's all about love all the time, like, it's all about being nice and happy with everybody all the time. And then you get to a place where you realize, all right, it ain't just that. And then again, there's a balance, because those arguments or whatever pop up due to you going on the extreme. Like, you're going on the extreme about the situation, so that's why it pops up, Because if you balance about it, so like, again, like, you was once in that, oh, I gotta be happy and this and that to be spiritual, you know what I'm saying? And then you realize it's not. When you realize it's not, you have the awareness to know, all right, I realize it ain't about just that. Like, yeah, I will express happiness at certain points. Yeah, I will genuinely express being nice in certain areas, but it ain't about trying to forcefully do it. So, it's about realizing, all right, it's a balance. I ain't gonna judge that, that, again, that dual nature of that energy, I'm gonna stay balanced within it and realize it's a moment for me to be, quote unquote, nice and happy, and there's a moment for me to not be, you know what I'm saying? Like, two sides to one coin. But the moment you make that strong switch to the other side, then again, like, you're creating a beef within you. Like, well, man, well, fuck that nice shit, man, nigga. It's all about being, hard and and spirituality. Like, fuck that nice shit, Well, then you're gonna constantly be, manifesting all you always will be standoffish towards somebody who's again a physical representation of that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. If you got beef with the way a certain person look, y'all fuck around and never conversate just off of the way one another look, like, oh man, he look like this, or he look like that, or she look like this, she look like that. And then one day, probably like without you knowing, you know, the universe helping you out, you kind of lowering that level of judgment, and you know, and like judging from appearance, and you and that person who you kind of always was standoffish because of the way they look, you and that person have a conversation and y'all fucking hit it off big, and it's like, oh shit, this and that, and I do the same thing too, and we could fucking network, and this and that. But again, when you're in the dimension, because it's just vibrations, different wavelengths and different dimensions, you're in a different dimension, so you're not connecting with that energy. Hence why y'all always, all those times coming across, and that's why, again, like, and on the opposite side, that person was dealing with probably being, you know, judgmental or extreme on a certain energy that you was on the opposing end of, and there's a learning lesson for both of y'all, you know what I'm saying, as reflections. You know, and that's the whole aspect, again, just having that understanding to realize, again, like what areas we may be blocked in, you know, in our understanding about certain things, you know. So again, like what I'm speaking on is the aspect of, you know, acknowledgement, like how to acknowledge these situations so you can fix it. You can't fix on anything if you don't know what's going on. So basically what I'm expressing is a way to apply acknowledgement and realizing what's going on inside your inner universe. If you're not catching it internally first, you know, it's gonna speak externally, you know, and you could catch it and realize, like, damn, the last few days I've been always fucking fussing about whether the earth is flat or round, you know, I always been in those conversations, you know, that because you got some type of little back and forth going on inside of you, you know what I'm saying? But that's basically it, you know what I'm saying? Peace, peace, happy now. Now's a vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past, right now.